Good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Scented ATV Podcast. I am your host, Shane Eastman. I am so glad you could be here today. I appreciate your time. Today, I have an amazing guest from Maine, my old stomping ground, and believe it or not, is where I grew up. So it's really awesome to talk to people that were around there and so forth. So I can truly relate to what they're doing and so forth. And the gentleman I have today has been doing a lot of work and near the China Lake. In fact, the club is the China Four Seasons Club. It's an ATV club, snowmobile club, and there's also a clubhouse right there at the lake. So they have a lot going on their 7 acres of land. Without further ado, I'll introduce the president, Mr. Tom Rumpf. How are you, sir?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad to have you here. I appreciate you, agreeing to meet with us today and talk about what you have going on up there.
Well, thanks for having me on. I adjust you.
No problem.
I've watched some of your podcasts, and thanks for having me on.
Oh, well, appreciate it. So tell me a little bit about the clubhouse, the club that you got going on, and how long have you guys been in place, and how did it come to be?
Yeah, well, originally, the club was founded between a merger of the old China Lake Association and China Regional Snowmobilers. That was kind of the way it started. And somebody generously donated the 7 acres that we have on China Lake to those clubs, making it the China Four Seasons Club.
Okay.
And then in 2000, we added ATV to not just the clubhouse and the snowmobiles, but we added the ATVs. We had the trails from snowmobiles, but
right.
We talked to landowners and they got permission. And so we started with the ATV club. So we're truly a Four Seasons club there.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. They can just take advantage of all the seasons and basically keep activities going and keep the economy going really in the summertime, to get more traffic up there and so forth. I'm sure that helps.
It does. I've done studies, and the Four Seasons clubs, between the people that come to ride our trails in the summertime and the food they buy at the local restaurants and stores, we bring in last year over $150,000 to the town.
That's fantastic.
From our great people that come ride.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Very cool.
Yeah, and we got 7 acres, like I said, with a clubhouse on the lake and a beach, and we have 6 slips during the summertime for people that boat, members that boat.
Okay. Yeah. Great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But how big? Remind me again. How big is China Lake?
I don't know the exact size. It's like 7 miles long by 5 miles, something like that.
Definitely a good sized lake.
It's not really wide, except till you get to the Vassalboro side, and the basin is wide and like a normal lake, but it's more like a wide river that goes up through. But there's islands, and it's a beautiful lake. Beautiful lake. There's a lot of people on it, and it's great.
Very good. Very good. So when did you get the ATV bug? When did you first get it?
I first got it. When you asked me that question, I had to think about it for a little bit. But I first got it when my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-laws, came home with the Honda Big Red 3-wheeler.
Oh, wow.
And so that really, we did a bunch of stuff then, and that really kicked me into a lot of it. And I'd been involved through the years with older machines and newer machines.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I don't even own a machine because I use the club rig. We have 2 Polaris Rangers. One's a 2021 1000, and then we have a 2019 or 18 900. And we use those for grooming in the winter and in the summer.
Okay. You put tracks on them in the wintertime?
Yeah, they both have tracks in the winter, and that's what we groom with. And used to have a fleet of snowmobiles, and we've gotten rid of most of them because honestly, it's kind of nice because they, you got a radio in there, you got heat, got a full cab, insulated, and my trail masters go out grooming together, and they either follow each other, they can bring somebody to talk to, and it just makes it
Right.
nicer to groom.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's cool. It's great. Great system. And what's unique? What would you say, like from the areas you've ridden, what would you say are some of the unique features that's around your area there?
We are blessed to have best of a bunch of worlds.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of our trail is on Central Maine power lines, so it has swampy areas and a lot of graveled areas that we've made wider for the machines, and then we have places of pretty heavy mud that the mudders can go play. We have 2 spots on our trail that has some pretty heavy ledges, and they're very technical. So there's ways around, but they're very technical for the guys that want to get technical about how they climb up a ledge.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. So
That's
we
great.
have a lot of great stuff. Plus, the trail goes right to our clubhouse and down to the beach. So when you're done getting all muddy and cruddy, you can go right in and take a dip if you want
to. Ridge right off.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, what's some of the ways that you'd like to see some of the enthusiasts help out this summer? What are some projects you might have going on?
We have multiple projects going on. We're always trying to upgrade the trails. The machines are getting bigger and heavier, and not by anybody's fault. They just do more damage. We actually put a 44-foot bridge in. We use a aluminum tractor trailer that had a little bit of damage to it. Couldn't use it on the road, but we had some drive piles, and we're using that as a bridge over one of the brooks, and it works perfect. We got a lot of trail work that we need, and we typically get the same 6 to 10 volunteers, and that's where our Facebook page has 1,700 followers. I'd like to see more volunteers come help.
Yeah, really, absolutely. I mean, I tell everybody, just do one weekend a season. If everybody were to do one weekend a season, we could have some really amazing trails nationwide.
Yeah.
And certainly.
Yeah, and it's not just the trail. It's it's grooming. It's grooming back because the summertime you get a lot of growth.
Right.
Cutting back the trails is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty easy that people can do with pruners or small saws.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. What's one of your best ATV stories that you want to share with us that makes you laugh?
Well, probably one of the ones that makes me laugh is we have a hole. Well, it was made by wheelers, but when we redid that trail, we made that a little bit deeper. So we have a hole that actually somebody put a sign up, deep as F hole is what it's called.
Yeah.
And just sitting there watching people try to go through that, it is amazing because it's some people just don't, it's probably 4 feet deep or more in spots, depending on how you hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And people get stuck. People, they'll make it through it, but it's fun to watch them go through that hole.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there an issue with snorkels in Maine?
Yes, you're not supposed to have them because they don't come. They don't come on a machine.
Now, what if it's like a MXR or something like that, where it's a factory intake?
I don't believe Maine you're supposed to have a snorkel at all, even if it's factory. I haven't paid much attention to the rules because I shouldn't say it on here, but I kind of look the other way, and I don't always pay attention to that because I'm not the game warden out there.
Right.
With one, I'm sorry, but that's going to be your problem, not mine.
Right, certainly. Yeah, yeah. Just be wary about that, because I was thinking about that. But what about the people that want to do the deep stuff? I'm not a big deep mud person. I'll watch everybody else do that with their machines and stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, if people want to do it and stuff, if you're not
Some
hurt.
people want to do it, and we have few places that you can do it. The problem is when they hit a swampy area that it's not a marked trail, that you're not supposed to be out in there, is when we get in trouble.
Well, certainly, because there's something going on there that they're trying to protect or whatever. Or,
Right.
there's a why behind it. It's just a matter of figuring out what that is.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, so as the popularity of the sport increases up there around you, what are some of your concerns?
Honestly, the manufacturers are my biggest concern. Landowners and manufacturers. The landowners have had about enough of these machines getting bigger and bigger, and the manufacturers just keep on making them bigger. And you have stock machines now with 33-inch tires out there.
Mhm.
It's a hard. You gotta play that game with the landowner, to what you can do, to what we can do to the trail, to allowing people to actually have fun and not just build the dirt road.
Right. Yeah.
And it's keeping the landowners happy that's my biggest thing. I have trail masters that go out and deal with the trails.
Yeah.
But one of my things is obviously I get the calls from landowners saying, hey, I got people out here where they're not supposed to be, or I got damage out here, you got to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
And I know they can, but some of these manufacturers and some of these rigs that probably belong in the desert of Arizona or Nevada or somewhere, they just don't belong in Maine.
Right.
And I know some people will disagree with me on that, but it's the truth.
Well, there's a not really a time, but there's a place, for certain types of machines. And yeah, you're right. 30-inch tires. I mean, that if you want to use those, go down to the Hatfield McCoy system, where you can really test the limits of those machines and stuff. But
I mean, there are trails up here where like the Sunrise Trail is a big wide gravel road, basically, and those are fine. But when you're trying to get technical going through the woods on some of our trails and stuff, the 6-seaters and whatever have issues trying to get there.
Oh yeah, I bet because trails aren't built for that.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Now, how long have you been part of the club yourself?
I've been part of the club about 10 years, and
Okay.
I think I've been president for the past, I don't know, 5, maybe something like that.
Okay. Great.
Got a few years left in me for that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's fun because we do a lot. We do, like I said, the ATV. In the wintertime, we actually do a very large derby for the town, fishing derby on the lake.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's a big hit. But yeah, and honestly, the ATVs are huge. They bring a lot of money into this town.
That's great. I know for sure that I'll be heading up that way this summer. So
Good.
yeah.
Well, let's meet up and I'll show you around.
That'd be great. I'd appreciate that. Certainly. What out of all the places out there that you've ever heard about, is there any place on your bucket list that you'd love to check out?
I myself would like to either rent something or go to one of the deserts, and ride the sand or the big wide open spaces and just see what it's like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Dunes riding is hilarious. Like I was at Pismo Beach in California.
Yeah.
And I was in a Quadzilla, and I was ripping over a berm, just kind of following a big, long, lazy turn as you're going top of the hill. And, without warning, it could literally just drop straight off without you. And I thought I looked at the whole thing, and I got this Quadzilla, and I had this girl on the back of it. I was ripping through the gears, and I mean, massive rooster tail climbing over the peak of this.
Sure.
You get to the top, and I saw there's no more sand. It was like, locked it up. It's like, whoa, camel, whoa. Because it was basically, I basically stopped enough to where my front tires dropped off the edge and we just coasted down the steep sand,
Yeah.
cliff or whatever. But it's a great experience. Everyone's got to at least do it once.
Yeah, I'd like to try that. I mean, I've had the big deep snow with the sled and stuff during the winter. I'd like to try the dunes and stuff
Yeah.
myself.
Yep, definitely got to do that.
Yeah.
What's the best way for people to get a hold of you and get involved and get, figure out what's going on?
Probably the best way is just go right through the Facebook page.
Okay.
Usually when somebody messages the club, it's me that answers.
Okay.
Well, there's 3 or 4 of us that'll answer, but I see it quite often. So pretty much that way, our contact information is on the Facebook and our website as well. And that's how the easiest way to join the club. If you want to join our club, is to go right onto the website and pay through PayPal. And, then you get stickers, the yearly stickers for your machine to show that you're part of a club. And, those are the best ways to get a hold of us.
Perfect. Well, I'll be sure to put the link in the bottom of the video below here in the description, so that way they can just easily click on it and find you and go from there.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so forth. But Tom, listen, thank you very much for your time tonight, and I appreciate you sharing what you have going on. That sounds awesome. Like I said, I will definitely be up that way this summer, so I'll reach out to you when the time comes.
Good. Well, we'll hook up and go for a ride.
Yeah, sounds great. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.